Hello everybody, there we go. This has been day 2 of the fun stuff. We had some real troubles on Tuesday, and I don't quite understand what's going on. I don't know if we have a technical issue with the machines. I mean, the machine that we run our live streams on is a Windows 10 machine. I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know. It's not a very old PC, that's the downer. And I don't feel it has any of the stuff to do. I mean, I think it's older than 2018 though. So, I mean, that's 6 years old, but, or more than 6 years old probably. But it's still a good machine. It's got a 1080, you know, Radeon, 1080, not Radeon. Good gosh, I can't believe I said Radeon. It is GeForce 1080. You know, like high-end one, which should be plenty for what we're doing. I mean, since laptops can do it. I'm gonna try to paint today, but what I'm gonna do first, because I have had this for a while, probably almost 2 months. I cannot remember if I got it before or after. I think I got it before Spiel, which is terrible. But we have had such a crazy time. We have not been home a ton. Now we've been home 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks from BGGCon. But we had about 3 weeks in between Spiel and when we were heading to Dallas for BGGCon. So I'm taking this opportunity to open this up because, number one, I would like to see it. But it is the Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Hivestorm box, which Games Workshop sent me. It was very nice of them to. I was shocked because I've gotten a Kill Team set from them before, I think at Spiel. So for them to send me one is exciting, and I feel terrible that I haven't gotten to it. But I got a mess to clean up here. I tried to get, if you were watching it all, which I don't know anybody was, I was trying to get all of the, I have miniatures all over the desk. I mean, I've really been having a hard time. I want to paint more, but I have not had the time. Hey, there's some parts there. I did work on the minis I was cleaning up last week. Wow, this is very, you can see my lighting rig. And I need putty. I basically did some sprue goo, which it works, but I really like putty. I have some tools as well, and I have no idea where they ended up. I need to track those down as well. Oh, there they are, I think. Yep, to work on the minis, filling. So I need to go. I actually looked up a place. We have a Burbank Hobbies. It's not the name of it. They're good. They have a lot of stuff. They did not have the Milliput I had bought a long time ago. The last time I bought some. They had some other ones, and I don't know the differences. I tried to look it up, and you know, there's no definitive answer. And you know, of course, it's not designed to do miniatures, but a lot of people say the standard is the one to get. So I will try to get that. I watched a video of somebody using it, maybe a different one. That was why I maybe watched it. But let's see what's in here. So it shows a lot. I'm excited about this one. There's actually a couple of great, it's a full-on different setup stuff. No Marines. Now, that's not always the case. I mean, they don't always do Marines in Kill Team, which is cool. You know, there is another set. This is the main one. There's another set that has, which is very interesting. I was hoping I could get one sent to me of that. We were actually told about it at, because see, when I got the notification this was coming, I didn't remember seeing the name of it. So I thought this was one of the small boxes. I have like Kill Team, Fire Team, or actually no, it's Warhammer 40K Fire Team. So I think it's a small version of this that I never even got into. I'm gonna cut this. This is silly. I appreciate they're not doing a lot of plastic, but I don't love the tape either. I watched a Netflix documentary about, you know, buying. Oh wait, I'm not cutting to this. You guys need to see this angle. So let us do that. I think that's the one. Yes. But yeah, it's been weird. Such computer problems. So yeah, this is the Hivestorm box. I'm looking at the back of it now. It's got a lot of stuff. It's got terrain, which is awesome. There is another set that is a starter set or something like that that's out now that I was told about, shockingly, before. I've never been told really anything specific before the announcement. Now, it was only a week early. Or if that, might have been even just days. Because I think that it might have been that weekend, that Saturday of Spiel. We had a tremendous time seeing all of the Golden Demon stuff, which was, we had seen Golden Demon before when Nikki and I went to a game day 21 years ago, I believe. And it was phenomenal. Hey, Circe. Thanksgiving was great. The audio just cut off. Did I unplug it? Thanksgiving was great for us. I don't know. Seems like it's, I guess it was the music. We actually, everybody showed up on time, which is it's just rarity. But it was great. I hung out with Nikki's dad for a bit. And that was nice. He's getting up there and he's starting to have some cognitive issues, it seems, which is really unfortunate. But he's a real nice guy. Well, when we met, when Nikki and I moved out, when she moved out with me, that wasn't such a great day. But it's been great ever since then. So let's look at the, let's open this up. I've never opened any of, I actually have, so here I have this, and I have, we may open them all. We have Space Marine Adventures, which is the Tyranid attack, which is kind of a ultralight version of Space Hulk, which I gotta tell you, if it's even close, it might be awesome. I also got the latest Blitz Bowl, which is a Barnes & Noble. They sent all of this. It's really great. If I have the time, I'll get to these other ones as well. And then I also got the Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the beginner set, the new one of those. So it's got more, not my favorite to paint anyway, even though I love them. But Stormcast Eternals, which are just tough. But Clan Rats, awesome. I'll probably have fun painting some of that. It's funny, I don't know. Like, this is great, and I love painting this stuff, and I have a great time showing people these things. But I just don't think I would buy a full Warhammer starter box anymore. I have so much stuff, and Kill Team it changes the game so much that you kind of need to buy at least some of this. Oh my gosh, look at all this plastic. So I believe it's 10 minis. Well, that I could look. Well, it's on the back. How would I look? This is a lot of stuff. It's also terrifying, like getting it all back in. Wow. And you always forget after I always forget after putting together. So I actually bought Kill Team, where is it? Not Kill Team, Necromunda. I got a Necromunda set of myself. I bought it because I just loved it. It was the an Escher gang, just one. So I think it was a couple, like 3 bikes, jet bikes, which look, like very much like pod racer engines, which is really awesome. Wow, the terrain is quite good. I don't know if they are making the terrain in China. I know that they had, but wow. So this will be fun. I have not painted any Warhammer terrain in ages. At least probably 5 years since one of the last Kill Team sets. Hey, Les5175. I just YouTube serving before bed. Hey, nice. I just recently purchased the new Talisman. Wow. It will be played on channel. Maybe. We are doing more. It depends. We don't own it. We have some Talisman stuff, but we haven't bought anything new. Might be fun. Nikki and I are actually probably going to do an Underworlds, maybe I mean, I'm hoping to get the new Underworld stuff. I would love it if they'd send it since I have purchased so much. But I understand. They can't send it to everybody. Wow, these look great. All the skulls, it's a little Kingdom Death monster there. I mean, you know, not that 40K wasn't doing skulls forever. But we are trying to do more of that. We spoke with them about it. There's been a great guy at GW, Andrew Tolson? I'm surprised I can't remember. He's been really great, really telling us a lot. We've had a meeting with him. This is, I think, the 3rd year at Spiel, and it's been really good and helpful for me because I like to promote the hobby of painting, and I would like to get more gameplay in. So, Talismans, we've played Talisman before. We've played it digitally many times. I never owned it originally when I was younger. Scott Aldi had a whole bunch of that stuff. And wow, these look really nice. There is a little bit of distortion. I think that's intentional. You can see here, like, you know, that looks bashed in, so that's probably appropriate. Really great. They really have some amazing terrain. I saw some stuff recently, like Kickstarters for some other terrain stuff that look kind of cool. But yeah, there's a tremendous amount of troops here. So let's just pull these piles of sprues out. This is going way quicker than I thought because it is it's a mountain of minis. But yeah, we're trying to do more of this. Nikki is interested in doing it. We used to play 40K, and this was 20 years ago. She played some with us, and I was explaining that there's another Kill Team out there, another Kill Team box that just came out. This came out, I believe, in September. And I rarely get anything early. And this was actually sent to me early, which was exciting. I really felt bad to not have the time. It was in September, I remember now for sure, because I was not happy that I couldn't cover it. We're never the first to do anything on our channel. We don't chase for that stuff because there's plenty of people that want to do it. This is great. So this is the terrain board, playing game board, and it looks pretty. It's pretty detailed. But the other new box that they have out that might be pretty awesome for real beginners is it has essentially like cardboard terrain, old school cardboard terrain where, you know, it's all printed, and I believe it's dimensions, you know, like it's embossed. And I would love to check that out. I love the idea that somebody could because it can actually break back down. It's MDF and it's printed, and it would just be really awesome for folks to have an opportunity to just get going. Like, you know, I don't know that it has colored minis. I doubt it, although I wish it would. One of these sets, one of the reasons why I want to open these other boxes is they have one of the sets. I believe, I asked specifically because last year when I visited and had the meeting, we were talking about ease of access and trying to get people into the hobby. And believe me, I'm telling them nothing new. They know this, but it was exciting to hear that they have a new style of sprue where the miniatures are on. You just push them off. You don't actually have to cut them off the sprue, which is really exciting because that is one thing I think that people that are new don't quite get. Wow, core book. So yeah, I know I watched some stuff about this, of course, as it was happening in Germany, or before we got to Spiel, but in Germany. And I know that they made some changes, and some people aren't happy, but there's always going to be people that aren't happy with the way this goes. I always feel like if you have the set for the older version and you don't like the new stuff, then just play the old stuff. It's really not that big of a deal. The one thing I wish that they would, you know, it would get a little tighter for the rules. I feel like it's a little much. Not even sure. So there's tokens. I'm not going to punch any of that. Oh, so this is the modeling. Wow. You know, I feel their stuff is pretty good. I have done many sets like this kind of lately, more than I had done of others. So this is more the traditional build where you have options of what you might want to choose, which is exciting. You know what I mean? And if you're serious about playing the game, then you need to put some attention into that. Although this isn't as crazy as some of the Kill Team things I've done lately. I did, as I've shown, I was working on the Votan, what is it? They're called Hearthkin Warriors. I need to finish those. But it's cool. I like that you have the choices. That is one of the things that is a little disappointing for like Warhammer Underworlds, which I absolutely adore. I have not played the last 2 or 3. I think I only just recently bought one of them. Is it here? Man, I never know where any of this stuff is. Never something or other. I hadn't played anything since maybe Beastgrave. That seems right. Actually, was Beastgrave 2020? Maybe just Night Vault. I don't think that's correct, but I really had fun with it. It's a very quick game. I had heard that the rules got pretty dense, which is disappointing because one of the things is I felt it was a great get people into the hobby thing, and hopefully this new version, which was meant to simplify some stuff for you, you know, like making the system easier. Well, there's the cards. Very cool. Very cool. Let's look at those. And the issue was, of course, you know, the rules just kept bloating out, right? The more things you add. And one of the things that they did on the new Warhammer Underworlds is the decks of cards are not specific to any faction. You choose, I believe, this is what we were told. You choose the one you want. I'm pretty certain this works this way because there are no decks with the minis. So there will be new minis, and they will be re-releasing some of the older minis, which excites me because, like, I missed in the Beastgrave, I think, run. Maybe it was even in the whatever. I don't think I have anything. Maybe I have some of the second set after that. I need to really dig into these. And so I painted them. I've shown them recently we're going into Warhammer Underworlds, but as we're looking at Kill Team. And a lot of people really love War Cries, so I'm hoping that they give this the attention that it needs to. I mean, 40K, I believe, is always stronger as far as sales and gameplay than the fantasy, you know, the Age of Sigmar stuff, which isn't disappointing because I think those minis are great, just as awesome as the 40K ones. So yeah, I painted these. Thanks for probably linking. I really do appreciate it. I thought the Talisman game for the Switch, good game. Oh, bought it. Okay. But nothing feels better than having friends around the table. I mean, I agree with you 100%. We played, I think, in Steam or I can see if I can get you guys to see this. But I had painted these while we were in Germany. I had Sebastian buy these for me because they were really expensive, and ultimately all I really wanted was the minis because I knew I didn't have the newer stuff for this. And so he bought them, and I'm pretty certain I think he bought a set, and it was all German, right? So I didn't need the cards or anything like that. And ultimately I don't need them because they are changing the system. So I'm happy to try all that out and see how it works out. But these turned out great, and I love them. And they're just phenomenal minis. I mean, every time I think somebody else is doing something great, I see this stuff from GW, and it's just amazing. They really know how to do really fantastic miniatures. They really get great people. And I'm sure it's a constantly, you know, growing staff of people. Where are my readers? There they are. I'm going to switch to those. But yeah, we love to play local games. That's, you know, the fun for us. Doesn't always work out, but it was funny. So when I played video games, that was the thing. We loved LAN gaming. We were not as blown away by online play, but you know, it had to evolve. So we got into modern consoles, I believe, at that point. We had an Xbox 360, and we played a lot of Left 4 Dead, which we loved. Truly loved. I wish that Valve would do another game of that, and I know that they probably will at some point in time. I know they spent a long time, a huge amount of time on the Steam Deck, and understandably so. So we'll see how, this is clumsy here. Let me put this in here. We'll see how that goes, but we played that one a lot. Scott and Nikki and I played it a lot and loved it. And it was fun. It worked out. It wasn't as great. I mean, Scott lives in Dallas and we live in Los Angeles, so we didn't get the opportunity to really, you know, LAN gaming is not going to be common, and you know, we're board gamers, and so that was not like our focus. But we had fun, and you know, Nikki and I are not video game players that much, really at all. Every once in a while, we'll get into some of that stuff and go down you know, we bought a Switch. We were going on one of the BGG cruises, and we just decided, hey, dice. We decided we wanted to get a Switch and maybe play some of the stuff. And that was where people told us we should try Overcooked, which we had a really great time with that. So there's the bases, all tucked away here. But, oh, the tokens are not in the box. The tokens are not in the box. This is a lot of stuff. I'm eager to actually do the terrain. Again, I haven't done any GW terrain, and I never really did a lot of it. We mostly were like, you know, styrofoam hillsides that we cut, and we had a friend that built us a really cool, oh wait, there's 2 sets, maybe I missed that? Yeah, it's gotta be what happened. Who built us a foldable game table to play on, which was great. I think though, that was near the end of the fun for everybody else, and we used it twice. I mean, with those guys, I think Nikki and I used it a couple times, but Nikki is not, she actually really loves the painting stuff, appreciates it and enjoys doing it, but the problem is she doesn't have she's got her own hobbies, right? I'm the crazy person. So she painted Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings. I did her Eldar, or Dark Eldar, because this was the era of 3rd edition, and everybody did not want the Eldar. Poor disloved Dark Eldar. I was an Eldar player, and others. I had a Eldar, Necron. I think Eldar and Necron were the 2 that I built out the most. And then I had Dark Eldar, Black Templar sets. I have minis. I bought the last Battle box a few years back. Good gosh, it could have been longer than that. I got the Sisters of Battle one that came out. Sisters of Battle I have a lot of. I've painted a little of the Sisters of Battle, and I love the Sisters of Battle, but I feel I get frustrated with GW because they tend to just fan service it right before the new run of the full game, you know. So you get a codex that's not They claim it, you can still use it, but you generally, it's not. It's just frustrating to me. They really do a nice job on the design. I mean, you know, this is all done digitally. They're very, but there's people sculpting this stuff, and it looks great. I mean, I have tons of terrain. I just haven't built any in forever. I love going into the stores and seeing oh, I forgot one thing in here. And seeing the tables, you know, the one that we had here that I constantly in my back pocket that we had never gone to actually play, closed. Chad Fox. I just bought this set as a first timer. Oof, crazy. Nice, Chad. That's awesome. I mean, it is not hard, and I'm impressed that you think these are easy to assemble. They often aren't, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean I'm correct. They do seem to have things keyed, though, so that you could put let me look here. Well, they do have, like, you know, you can turn the head, which I love. It's one of the things that's frustrates me about the other sets is you don't have, some of them, you don't have the option. Let me show you a couple of sprues from some Warhammer Underworlds that I have. And you can see it's, but I mean, these are, the amount of stuff you get definitely seems like it's worth it. And if you're into it, it's a great way to, if you really think you're going to do it, I always recommend you start small. But like, if you get a good deal, I mean, come on, I'm guilty of that too. I bought plenty of full, I remember back in the day, they would introduce an army and you would go to the store and buy the box. And it was in a big box similar to these. Often, sometimes they were in a white box back earlier. I can't remember, but I used to go those opening days and get some. I have Dark Elves, Tau, Necron. I mostly bought those at stores. I didn't really buy as much at online. My online, even though I started buying online early, I mean, I've been on Amazon for a long time. It's kind of crazy how much Amazon takes over. But you know, you think, oh, I'll just get it on Amazon, which is cool. Hey, Time Roller. But let's look at I've been dying to look at, I'm going to look at all three of these because I really want to know. Is this sinking down? I think it is. That wasn't helpful. I don't think I had the tape down. So you can see I did buy those Army Painter. That's a 50 paint set. It's expensive. That was about, it runs $200. I paid a little less, but not a tremendous less. Okay, so once again, tremendous amount less. They've taped these with these tiny little, I'm always been a little, we can go in a little tighter with this. I've always been a little OCD about game boxes and stuff like that, but I got over that real quickly. You know, as far as like getting scraped up and all that stuff. The only issue is when we were giving them as a gift. That's frustrating because we like to make sure that we're giving somebody a pretty good copy of the game. And it's one reason why I would buy, when we were definitely doing lots of gift exchange with folks, I would buy no tools required. So let's see here. This could be one of them. We would buy it locally. And I've always been that way. Okay, there you go. This is the stuff. I'm going to push one off. So these are their new sprues. I'm really excited about this. I think I need the readers again. So they have like an arrow that shows you, we need to zoom in more. This is exciting to me. I really would like it so that people can get into this hobby without spending too much money. Now, sprue cutters are not a big deal, but if you notice one thing, these are very, very close. Like this one doesn't even connect. It's a very small connection point. They have this arrow that you push where it shows you where you push the mini to get it to pop off the sprue. It's right here. This was all explained to me. I haven't ever seen this in real life. But yeah, you don't have to have snips. It's connecting, you know, it's got a couple connection points that you would want to clean up potentially. But let's just see. It's supposed to be easy. It's not. It's very snug. Oh, there you go. Interesting. So I guess you do the one and then you wedge it off. So in my opinion, you don't have to, obviously, but this is great. This connection point is very small. Like if you saw these the other day, I'll show these again. I was working on these. I did not build these. So I don't have any, as I said, I don't have any putty for this. So I need to get some, but this was all glued together by somebody else, and there's massive gaps. Like this was, I don't think I took that apart. I think that was part of the thing, and I don't know what kind of glue they use. This was somebody at BGG, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know exactly what happened. I had to really, this one's taken the most amount of effort. This one here, which is ready to get primed. But you can see these connection points. These are massive compared to like this. This is the tiniest little amount. Very exciting. Let's try one of these other ones. I was really excited when they told me about this, because to me, wow, that doesn't seem like a strong point to do this. Let's move this because it always focuses on text. Let's try this. Okay. Now these actually come in, well, let's go over it before I get carried away here. These come in, each of the sprues is colored for each type of marine, and I love it. I love it because it's kind of the old school games like Space Marine and gosh, what were some of the other ones? Space Hulk was an early one, where they would come. Actually, I don't know if Space Hulk was actually one of those. I never had one of those. Let's see, does that have? So yeah, they all have the push point. Very cool. But yeah, you put them together. They don't need any glue, and you just push fit them all, and you're ready to go. And to me, that is exciting because, you know, these minis look great. They're the best minis you've ever seen if you're new to this stuff. Let's do that one here. Yeah, it does pop out pretty easily. Oh, there you go. This is why it doesn't have an injection point. So you can twist this out without 2023. And look at that. It is the smallest amount. I mean, it wouldn't be obnoxious if you didn't finish it at all. You know, didn't sand it at all. This is interesting. This is the one push point here. So, oh, notice it's once again, it's not connected there. I wonder why they actually build that up like they're going to do it. So let's see here. Wow, okay. Very easy. Very easy. And they're putting a lot more thought into where the injection point is. So this has got two on the shoulder here, two nubs. Come on, focus. And so, but they're teeny. It's very, very small. I would love it if they did this on everything. Obviously, there's reasons why you can't. I do like that the head, so here you go. The head is keyed, so you can't put it in incorrectly, which is a little disheartening. Let's see here. This one says push here. Oh, wow, boom. That is very quick. So there's a little that I would be bothered by, but that's a pretty easy clean. Now, clipping that's probably even better. So once you have the skill and the interest, you can clip them and they'll be the easiest you've ever clipped. I keep contemplating buying the Godhead trimmers that are $60 or something like that. But I'm one of those people that don't mind. I mean, you have to clean it anyway. So if you can see here, it has mold lines still. It is not very strong, but it's all the way on these two, this side and this. It's pretty clean over here. So when I clean that, I did that last week. I just, I use the edge. Some people use the top of the blade. I use the blade itself. I usually use a duller blade, and just will scrape it off. I also have the GW tool over here that I use. I was actually making sprue glue with this thing, which was a mistake. So yeah, these work pretty well. I know people give them kind of guff, but they work well. They work well, and I think they'd be fantastic for a young person to not kill themselves. I think about how many times I've poked a X-Acto blade into my finger, and it is not fun. It's much like trying to clean a bougainvillea tree, or bougainvillea. But yeah, that's awesome. Wow, I'm really excited about this. I'm really happy I have the opportunity to try these out. So this one, it doesn't have a push point, but you see it's got connection points that are small, and I guess you just rock this off. And once again, it's a very small point. What would be great is if it was so small that it didn't matter if you didn't fill it. Like that paint, you know, because paint does not fill your details, but wow, those come off so fantastically. So where's the push point on this one? Over here, I was looking at that one. I was kind of afraid of it. Well, I can't push it off, but I mean, I can. But let's actually try clipping these. Let's see how easy this, I just put the clippers away when I was getting started. Where can I get the Geek Ball pinball machine? What is the Geek Ball pinball machine? Wow. I'm a big pinball fan. And I would like a Board Game Geek pinball machine. I know that there is a rumored next machine from Stern, which will be expensive. That is D&D, if that's true, which would be exciting. Very cool, though. So yeah, you see this here doesn't have a connection point either, just on the top of the head. I'm going to trim that, though. But here's where, like, I think, yeah, it does a fine job. I want to try the Godhead, though. I'm a goofball. It's like, oh, hey, $60 trimmers that are fragile, as I've heard, so. I really want to try them, though. I do not know what the Geek Ball pinball machine is, but I want to find out. There is a new machine coming. Well, so yesterday we hadn't got some supply, you know, groceries from in general, so we went to Costco, and they had so there's a lot more on this than some of them, but you know, it is all push fit. You'll put the head in place. In this case, it goes, you could do this however you want, I suppose. This here, it goes into this hole here, and then he has that direction, but you could just trim off this piece here and then glue it on the post and change it however you want. I will clean this up and try this later, maybe today, we'll see here. Anyway, let's get in here and look at some of this. I know that this is probably the game board. Space Marine Adventures is, I have the other one too. That was the, you know, it's basically an introductory, you guys are not seeing any of this stuff. I am a complete boob. Let me cut back there. Wow. This is what I get. Well, let me go over. We'll punch another one here. So yeah, this is the box. They each have the colors. Wow, I'm a goofball. But yeah, I'm going to do one more. I'll do one more. Wow, this has multiple heads. Is this more than one unit? It looks to me like you get to choose. Oh, helmet or no helmet. We'll do this one. Oh, they do that on a couple of these. Very cool. That one did not. This one only has one head. But yeah, each of the different Space Marines, there's Ultramarines and Dark Angels and Blood Angels and Space Wolves. Is this really Space Wolves? I'm only assuming because of the color. maybe. And then this one might be Grey Knights or something like that. I also love the already done bases. For me, that's a great, especially for beginners. Even for me, where I actually know how to base, I have not based any of these yet, you know, because I'm like, well, what'll I do? But I do have some textured stuff to put on the ground, so I'm going to try that. I've never really done that. I've glued sand down and things like that, but I've never done any textured medium stuff that they have. So let's do one of the ones with multiple heads. Does this one have two? It does. We're going to do what I think is a Space Wolves Marine. Sorry about that. Slowing me down too, because I want to move on to the other things. But let's look here. So there's a bag. Do not open. Awesome. So you can't see that. Let me roll it over. Let me try open it up a little bit again. So yeah, it's got some sort of adventure to it. Obviously, it is called Space Marine Adventures. I love this kind of stuff. It's, you know, legacy or campaign game, which is awesome. More dice. Titus. Do they give you Titus? Is that who this is? No. I do have the Titus miniature that I have. As a matter of fact, is he over here? I moved everything a little bit because I really wanted to make room for all this. Wow. I hurt my foot 12 weeks ago, more than that. And it is just, it's taken forever to get better. It hurts a lot right now. It's really dumb. Let me disconnect and go get that. Titus. Lieutenant Titus. Wow, my heel hurts. Hey, I have Lieutenant Titus. I don't see him anywhere in here. What a weird deal. Where did I put him? I was pretty certain he was here. Maybe he's here. I do have some space, some 40K stuff on the table here. Have tons of Tyranids or Termagants. I see some minis down there that got knocked down. That's what I get for moving too quickly. That is another Termagant. Titus was a cool one though. It's you know, it's Termagants and one Space Marine. And oh, there he is. No, that's not him. I don't think. Or is it? Let's look at the picture. Do they have cards in them? I believe it is. I guess I based him already. Wow. How rare for me. I think I was trying the crackle medium that I had. So yeah, there he goes. Let's zoom in again. I'm zooming in and out. Hey, Francois Marion. So this was one of the sets that they sent me a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I painted the Marine, and he turned out pretty good. I mean, this is not obviously entirely contrast paints, but it is mostly, I painted all the blue, all the leather, and it turned out really cool. So he can be added to this game. I had read about that. But I sure love this, I love what they're doing here with the minis. You know, low, so they said what he was talking about. Actually, I think this was on, I watched the painting phase. They had an Peachy, who used to do, he now has a channel called Peachy Tips, but he used to be one of the painters for GW. He interviewed one of the guys that I think was, I know he's a product developer, but I believe he's the one that said, I wonder if this is like, don't open it. I don't know. But he was the one that's, like, they were making like a funnel, you know, wide open funnel to get the most people to get involved. Wow, these are just envelopes. So they're needed for something. I will leave them as is until I do my research. Open now, okay. Is this, so these are cards. Well, let's just do it. Anyway, they were making it so that you can get people into the hobby with the least amount of effort, right? You want it to, that's why having non-painted minis that are colors at least, you know, and you do have to assemble them, so that's part of the whole GW getting into the games. You can't, they don't make assembled minis. And I gotta tell you, having done all the Marvel United that I've been doing lately, which I love doing, and I need to get back to painting some of those. I have a second set, and Scots, I'm going to be doing Scots, so I'll be doing 3 of them at a time. I kind of wish you assembled them, even though it is nice to not have to assemble stuff, because you end up making it look, I think these are on this side. Okay. So yeah, Sergeant Maximus, Brother Adrix, Brother Raphael. Oh, I see, Wounded Side. Brother Lucas. I couldn't tell you if that was, it looks like a Space Wolves. I mean, color. That's certainly not the way to judge it. Oh, you know what? This is not. Well, let's look. There's books. I'm sure we'll find out here. Let's look at some of the cards. Ooh, nice. Termites. Oh, that's right. You can actually, I could use the termagants and stuff that I have. I just don't think I have a lot of them. But, you know, they're just placeholders. I mean, it's essentially like, hey, thanks for the follow, Woodrow Gaming. Thanks a lot. And thanks for the support. Interesting. So it's, I guess this is like flipping a coin, or no? Okay, well, I definitely want to get into this. This is one I would love to do. So yeah, this Titus came with this. I'll slip him inside this set here. Maybe you store things in here that reveal at some point. Not certain. Let's look inside the book and see if we can find out. But I want to get back to, I want to punch one more mini since I just did an entire one off camera. And the reason why I say punch is it's you don't need tools to get it off the sprue, which is exciting. No knives, no trimmers. Very, very cool. As soon as I was told last year, I was really knocked out because to me, and the easier it is to get people in, the more intrigued they would be to, I mean, Candace is, she's kind of our heavy gamer with the media team. She is our heavy gamer with the media team. And she wanted to paint, what is the name? I'm getting the wrong name in my head. The Awakened Realms one, that's basically like Alien. Gosh darn it. And I brought her over and we painted. It was great. And so I showed her how to do it. Now I know that she was doing some painting, but I don't know that she did a bunch. So let's do this one Space Marine one that I feel, well, let's first look at this so we can find out what we're doing. Oh, those cards that I just pulled out are ones that said do open them. So I didn't open these, but these here were open now. Let me show you the top here. So open now. Also says open now. So those were okay. But these, yeah, don't open because it's stuff that you will, maybe you're saying don't open this. Ah. How much Warhammer has to be destroyed before it becomes palatable to everyone? So do you feel it's destroying it? I don't know. I need a painter to paint like 20 armies. Oh, for free. Good luck. So my friend Sebastian, who started with, I'm going to just peek in here because maybe I shouldn't look at this. Doesn't say on the envelope. There are no books, so it's got to be in here, right? Got the playboard and probably the rules book. My friend Sebastian started doing people's armies. Well, that's one way to get started, is painting other people's armies or painting other people's miniatures from games. And to me, that's exciting. I understand like what you're saying as far as not wanting to make it palatable and to ruin it for the regular players. See, here's the deal. You're frustrated with it getting easier, but it doesn't mean that you have to play that easier game. There's a lot of stuff that these guys put out, and you can play the one that you want to play that is fully as complicated as you would like it to be. I don't love the redos of the rules only because I feel it does cause problems, and it does, but you know, you're going to get that no matter what. Part of the goal is to get you to buy more things. So when you do that, you know, you have to figure out ways to do that. It is the nature of business nowadays, where they really push you to keep rebuying stuff. And if you haven't learned that Games Workshop wants you to do that, and I know you know it, it's, what are you going to do? But I like the idea of games like these, you know, that get people into the hobby, because it's, you know, I don't know. I mean, we don't have the hobby store. We don't have a Warhammer store near us anymore. We used to have one. That didn't make it after the pandemic. I think it was there a little while, but it was a nice store. And, you know, it's not enough people getting in now. I had been there and saw tons of, you know, guys and gals and painting in store, which was awesome. I also went to there is a Games Workshop store near, sort of near us. It's not close. It's about 35 minutes away. Although that's not so bad in a city, but it is a little far. I'm going to pop this other one. I'll show you. I'll frustrate Francois. Oh yeah, top of Steam minutes. So I understand that. Although I don't know. I don't pay attention. I love those miniatures, by the way. I don't know if, let's zoom in on this. I'll show you how this goes together, breaks apart. I don't know. I mean, I know that they're out there and I've seen stuff, but I haven't paid attention to the new releases, and I get it. That's a little frustrating when you are into the kind of fringe type of stuff that isn't necessarily family friendly. I don't know that, yeah, you see, these just pop out. This is really quite good. Now, this is weird. This one's the first one that has 3 connection points once I pop the one starting one. But if you see, they've got that little arrow, tells you where to start. And, wow, that had two arrows. And then you just fold these off. But I feel making some of this stuff more friendly only helps the hobby. I want more players. I love doing the miniatures, and I love the risque stuff. I don't have any demonettes. I marvel. I mean, Vincent Venturella does some of those when he paints, and I just love them. I mean, they're just fantastic. So this has a push point here that's very... Okay, it comes off though. That is pretty neat. So there you go. You see, it's pretty easy to do. Now this one doesn't need that because it's just on 2 connection points. They're very, very fine. I was showing that all on the camera stuff. French stuff that isn't family friendly. You mean Warhammer? Yeah, I get it, Francois. I understand what you're saying, but nowadays people don't like that, right? There's a lot more parental involvement in stuff that's going on, and so if it's too risque or whatever, then they're not going to do it. And I mean, it's pretty widespread now. People are, and this isn't the liberals. This is you know, the conservative families that are concerned about, you know, early exposure of this stuff. And I completely understand. I have no children. I'm not, you know, I'm not against parents doing what they need to do. But, you know, it's weird. It's things have changed. You know, if we're going to get into it, I'm an old dude. I know how this works. It is different, but it's not my place to, you know, gatekeep this stuff and all that. You don't have to use cutters, Angzar. That's the whole point of this. These are the new toolless sprues. Now, I think they came out last year. I did not get to see them, but this version of the game does not need them. If you look, I'll show you, this is where I punch this. This is one of the connection points of the sprue. Here's another one. Here's another one. So you literally pop off one, and then you have two other ones that you need to break off, and these are the finest connections I've ever seen. They are really impressive, and this is part of the conversation I'm having with Francois, that it's a little, it's kind of dumbing everything down. But I like this. I want more people to play these games. You know, only because I enjoy it, not because I'm trying to get Games Workshop to make a bunch of money. It's expensive, you know. I love these. The other thing I love about these sets, and you know, I'm a more experienced 40K Games Workshop player, not fully probably like Francois, but I don't. Here's the deal. I honestly feel, you know, you can be upset and have your opinion. You're absolutely entitled to it, but it doesn't affect you. Ultimately, yes, changing the minis does affect you. That's silly. I agree with you. Those should still be available. I honestly don't know because I don't pay attention to that stuff. So yeah, these connection points are very fine, right on the edge of that shoulder pad. It's amazing. I'm actually looking forward to cleaning this up. It's true. I mean, here's the other thing. Games Workshop is a large company, and growing. And I don't know if they're where we should be. Part of what I enjoy nowadays is these other companies doing things. But if they're going to do this kind of stuff, this is where I want. If there's no getting them around not doing it, then you just let them do that. Enjoy what you want from this if you can, and then maybe go to other stuff. Look at Kingdom Death Monster. Look at, you know, one-page rules stuff that's much smaller. I've been seeing tons of great stuff. Rogue Hobbies did a feature a couple weeks back on a new game system that's based on like alternative history, super dark themes, which those people they're a small company. They will do what they want to do, and it sounds like it's pretty awesome. I mean, you know, if you get into the lore of Warhammer, which I have done some dives into that, it's tough, right? There's some terrible stuff that happens. So that's awesome, but it's also, you got to dig. Maybe minis, you know, they're trying to make money. That is what they want to do. They are not here to alienate people and get them out of the hobby. And, you know, it used to be, I know in the UK particularly, I always hear these stories that the parents would go in and buy them whatever, you know, get them started on this because it just seemed like a good hobby for them. And, you know, if you're seeing boobs on minis, then that might not work. Again, I'm not a parent. I don't know. Maybe they should keep the NF behind the counter. Maybe. I agree. You're right. It does. But I don't. That's just their choice. That's the choice that Games Workshop is making. If they have reduced the intensity of what is happening in these stories, then that is our loss. And, you know, again, large corporations tend to do this kind of thing, and it isn't necessarily great for our hobby. I mean, I'm more on the board game side of things. Obviously, I'm with Board Game Geek. I'm not a big fan of all these big companies buying these game companies. It homogenizes and it reduces variety. And I literally stopped Games Workshop 14 years ago. I mean, I always kept an eye on it, but not really. But 14 years ago, I got fed up. It was like too many changes. As I mentioned earlier, I like Sisters of Battle, and I was just absolutely frustrated with, like, come on, can we really get some new minis? I can't remember like when they came out with the new Exorcist and the Immolator a while back. Not the most recent versions, which are awesome, and the old ones were pretty cool too. But you know, that was just like table scraps to me, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I want to enjoy these. I don't need another Space Marine, but you know what I mean? That is what sells, and it's going to be that way forever. Space Marines are the #1 faction. You know, it guides a lot of things about the hobby. Guides their paint, you know, the paints that they make and everything. You know, they want to go for the lowest common denominator in that regard, as far as getting as many people into it, and if that's what people like. And believe me, the Space Marine minis are awesome. But I grow tired of painting them, just like I grow tired of painting the Stormcast Eternals. But I feel, I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention to specialist stuff anymore, which was, you know, kind of like maybe that's where they started to move those types of things. But it's not great, you know. But it's also not terrible. There's other options out there. I mean, and this is truly popular, and it has been built on the joy and excitement of people like you who want more of what they've got into it for. But, you know, money is a big deal. And there's no fighting it. There is no way. Because there will be somebody, even if somebody was inside that was into it like you were, or I am in my way, if they got frustrated with it and couldn't change anything and left, somebody else will come in and do it, and they will follow. I mean, go listen to some of these folks that have left the Jugs podcast, which is Honest Wargamer and Rogue Hobbies and Peachy Tips. All those folks that were, you know, I don't know that Rob from Honest Wargamer worked for GW. I don't pay that much attention to this stuff. But they got frustrated. They got frustrated with what was going on and the amount of control that was happening, and they just couldn't enjoy the hobby anymore. And I think that's happening, but the reality is there's somebody in there taking their place, and they're doing what they want. You know, part of the issue is I know that they weren't getting the attention, you know, they weren't getting the credit for what they were doing. But I actually, I mean, here's the other great thing about what's happening here. What I just started discussing about this in the beginning was that, yeah, I guess so. Bud Light learns its lesson. I mean, that's a different kind of thing. That's appealing to a fringe audience. But in my opinion, that's okay. Like, I don't care. I don't even drink beer, so it doesn't matter to me. But I mean, have you guys seen the Jaguar marketing? I'm not certain who their target audience is. And I feel that probably is a mistake. I don't know. Let me see what Edmund said. Yeah, the whole multinational conglomerate makes game conventions look the same no matter where you are. That is 100% true. And Stormcast Eternals are boring. They're boring, but they're beautiful. I really love the minis. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love these. I had a blast painting them. I just don't want to paint anymore right now. I should do what my friend Sebastian did, which is he just changed the colors up. I really like the gold and the blue though. I mean, it's and I love Retributor Gold as a base paint, layer paint. Is it a base paint or a layer paint? Let me see what it says here. I don't even have, I have the old bottle. It's a base paint. You know, it's the best way to communicate what you're feeling is don't buy the stuff. Believe me, if they have a hard time selling to the people that spend the most money. Now, again, lots of smaller interest people spending a lot of money is important too, obviously, to them. But if the other people don't buy, I mean, I stopped buying. I bought almost nothing for like 12 years. I was done. I don't need to worry about this. Again, every time I would look at other people doing minis, I'm like, wow, Games Workshop's probably got them on their heels. And then I'd look at the Games Workshop stuff, and I was just incredibly blown away. So if you like what they're giving you in that regard, then you make the choice. And I don't buy a ton still. I don't need minis. I was buying every Warhammer Underworlds thing, every one of them. Well, almost everything. Like just about, maybe not some of the, I can't remember. I was buying most of those things, like for the first 3 maybe. Shadespire, Night Vault, and Beastgrave. I wasn't like really on it. I kind of like lost track of that. I think that was the beginning of the pandemic. You know, speak with your wallet. I know that hurts, especially when you enjoy it, but what else can you do? Because they don't seem to care. I don't feel they killed a bunch of units off in the latest Age of Sigmar to get you to buy more units. That's classic corporation spent, and here's the deal, it's their company. As much as we love it, it's their company and they can do what they want with it. And it doesn't bother me. What am I going to do? Unless I was an investor. And you know what? Maybe I should invest because it seems like they are just growing. Now, a lot of this massiveness, the pandemic did a tremendous number on all this. Everybody was like, hey, my opportunity to get my army done, It's a weird thing. Like, a lot of stuff that I thought might actually hurt from the pandemic ended up getting big. Warhammer got really big. I know so many people that were doing their armies. I'm really into pinball. I'm not crazy into pinball, but I love it. And the pandemic actually caused the price of games to go up tremendously. I have one pinball machine that I bought in 2019, and it was not cheap. But now that level of machine goes for like nearly $10,000. That's just crazy. But everybody got into it. They weren't going out. I remember, so we were supposed to go to a event in Banning, I think, in California. I never went. My friend Sean actually went out and helped with the machines out there. Twice a year they would have an event, and the place was closed except for when they did this event. And so we had tickets to go. It was like March 22nd of 2020, and that got canceled. And so then that guy who has that facility decided he was done and he was selling everything off. And so everybody thought they might get deals, and there was all that pandemic. It was well enough into where they were giving stimulus money, I believe. And, or people just not spending to go on vacation because they couldn't go anywhere. It drove the prices up insane. And it's made the hobby, healthier. So, that's a plus. I don't want the companies to go away. I agree with voting with your dollar, but my one vote doesn't matter. Discourse with the community must be had. Games Workshop change anything if they don't hear the complaints. I'm not saying don't complain. You're entirely welcome to complain. The issue is you can't expect anything to happen when we have no pull. The only pull, it doesn't matter that our opinion is that we don't like this stuff. We can tell them that and maybe they'll hear it. But I think dollars are the biggest thing. And if if enough people don't like it, then they don't do it. There's plenty of people that don't buy any new stuff. They buy used things from guys like me that have too much. And I don't even have that much. I have friends that have so much stuff, and they buy on eBay, buy a lot of stuff on eBay. When my friend Sebastian came, they live in Germany, he looked at the stuff. I had stuff that I started buying in 2000, I think, summer of 2000 was when I got into it. And he's like, you should sell this stuff. You're not doing anything with it, and this is worth something. And I'm not one of those guys. I don't sell stuff. Because I'm always hopeful I'll get to it. But, the years advance, I don't know that it's going to happen. But, what are you going to do? This is where you have to, we can be upset. There's lots of things to be upset about. But I also don't want to be sick, and I don't want to be upset about it. I don't want to be stressed out about it. So I don't get that worked up about it. I vote with my dollars. I vote with my time. I'm here spending time talking about this stuff. I like the hobby enough. Not enough to go crazy, but enough to buy stuff occasionally. And, I buy their paints. I actually really like the contrast paints, and I think their paints are okay. They're fine. I love their colors. That's the biggest challenge, right? But there's new stuff. Again, the hobby's getting better. There's more money going into the hobby, so better. Like, I never really used Army Painter paints, but I heard the complaints, and I love, you know, like I'm a big Strong Tone fan, but now they supposedly have great paints, and I have 50 of these now. And that's a kind of a rarity for me. And they're actually pretty great. I haven't had enough time. I haven't used their white. I don't know how good it is. I kind of still feel, I really love the Pro Acryl white, but I used some Vallejo dead white, and I loved it. I was airbrushing with it and just thought it was phenomenal. Yeah, I agree. Francois is saying, this is all happening on YouTube. Francois is saying, their company exists because it's my hobby, therefore it stops being everyone's hobby. They thought they have a company, and the customer is always right perspective of capitalism. Yeah, I don't know if customer is always right. I don't know that is what we think it is. I used to work in retail, and we got that all the time, but I mean, I guess when they're voting with their dollar. I actually saw something recently about that, and I cannot remember what they said, but I was like, wow. It was specifically about that saying, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was the case. I wish I could remember that for you. But like the hobby got better while I was away. You know what I mean? Not the game necessarily. I don't pay attention to the big stuff anymore. I mostly pay attention to the smaller things. I want to build war bands. I want to build 3 to 5, maybe 10 for Kill Team, and that's it. I don't want to build, you know, hundreds of minis, and that's what they want. But they got me back in essentially with Warhammer Underworlds, and I wanted exactly that for 40K. Kill Team's not exactly that, but it's close. And you know, they change the rules constantly. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is a company. They're going to do it. They're going to, and we could be frustrated with it, but why be sick about it? It's just not worth it. I mean, I actually really loved, what was the one? Gosh, they make some I actually saw Duncan Rhodes did a video about them the other day. He said, war game company you probably never heard of, and I love their stuff. I have some of their minis, but I never got full in on it. But they had really great ideas. They had the rules and stuff for each mini in a little booklet inside the miniature. Confrontation, does that sound right? And it was amazing. Really great looking minis. They still make the minis, but that company, I mean, it's something else now. I don't know. I think I read somewhere that that's gotten picked up and they're going to move on to it. I like Skirmish. I mean, I actually played, okay, I don't think their products are necessarily bad, but if you can see my complaints and understand where I'm coming from, you can then understand why keeping a barrier too high, entry too high, is actually a good thing. I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I understand your position, but I feel thousands of, I have no idea the numbers, but thousands of people spending $50 to $100 is more important than hundreds spending $500, right? It's still good money, but there's always the potential with the new people coming in to buy more things. They don't need my help anymore to grow. They're doing pretty darn great on their own, but I mean, they want both. There's no doubt. They were talking about the funnel of the hobby, and they want both. They want all those people getting in, and then they want those people like you that really enjoy it, spending your money as well. So I'm not one of those people with the gatekeeping term and all that stuff, but that feels like gatekeeping to me. Like if you're going to say, hey, I only want people that are truly interested in this. Well, that's cool, but that's also what causes things to die, right? If you don't have new people coming into the hobby and only the craziest ones, right? The most fervent, I'm one of those people. I'm a fervent collector of crap. That's not enough. That at least in my opinion, I don't know. I am not a businessman. I don't have a company. I know that volume is the real way of things. They want to convince you to buy, and you can't. They can't be happy with the guy who doesn't buy a full army like every year or two, right? They want you to do that all the time. And I mean, I'm actually shocked by their new sets that they put out for the holidays. I mean, some of them have very few minis in them. Maybe that's not that shocking. Maybe they want you to buy more, because like they have a Tau one with like large units, and they have a Adeptus Titanicus set maybe. Probably already asked, how often do you get to play mini games? Not enough. As I was saying earlier, my favorite stuff is Warhammer Underworlds. That's the one I played the most in recent times. I also played a lot of Space Hulk. But I have a lot of Warhammer Quest sets, not any of the expansion. As much as I loved Blackstone Fortress, I bought 0 expansions for that. I did get the main game. As a matter of fact, I think Scott gave me that game. And I love those minis, by the way. And some of them are in this set, I think, here. It can't be. It's another set. It was one of last year's sets. It was in Combat Arena, I think. So some of those minis were in there. And you know, that was cool. I understand Francois' concerned that he doesn't like that, but I just, you know, corporations, what are you going to do? And I like their stuff, so I still buy. I don't buy as much as I used to. I mean, I have so many armies that aren't even touched from 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Not touched. That's ridiculous. So I just realized, you know, there's a lot of reasons. This is all plastic. It's so much plastic. It's insane. I don't know how you deal with this stuff. There are so many things that bother me about the entirety of these types of things, but I enjoy them, right? I'm honest with myself enough that I will spend some money. But yeah, I haven't played. I love mini games. I don't have the group I used to have. Our group has completely dissolved. We went to dinner with a friend that was part of that group that got me into 40K. Daryl was into Warhammer Fantasy, but everybody else loved 40K. And I mean, I'm sure they had some interest, but basically everything was 40K. That group is almost entirely dissolved. And he plays by himself. We went to dinner, first time I have seen him in nearly 5 years. And it's a bummer. And we've talked, we're going to get together and do more. He plays a lot of games by himself. He plays a lot of video games. And that's a bummer, but that's also called getting old and having families. I mean, he's got 2 kids. They're busy. But what are you going to do? It's the most, I mean, I don't even, here's the thing. I mean, maybe you're not thinking of it in that way. The reason why I think of this way, most people play video games. Even now, with like consoles starting to struggle, they still play video games. They play on their phone, they play whatever. I think this hobby is rewarding. That's one reason why I like Warhammer. It is a tactile thing. It's playing with somebody across the table, and there's a lot less of that. I mean, one of the biggest things in gaming, that really got popular in the pandemic, is Board Game Arena, digital versions of board games. I'm not into that. I like playing with people across the table. I've always preferred that. But it is not thriving. 40K is doing fine, and that's probably because of the methods that they're doing, right? It's not satisfactory to you, and probably not really satisfactory to me either, but if you want the hobby to continue, you have to have more people into it. I don't know. See, I actually think women playing the game is awesome. You know, I'm sorry, you guys can't read this if you're not on YouTube. Hey, Game Dan, I'm sorry I missed that. I think Games Workshop can still market their game successfully without removing potentially offensive or edgy content. Is it worth losing 100 whales to get 5 women to play? I mean, I don't know. I think I'm of the mind that inclusiveness is helpful. People seeing themselves in these games, somehow, that is one reason why D&D is so popular. You can have one character that represents you, and it's huge and it's massive. D&D is massive. So I think Games Workshop sees that and wants that. You're not happy about it, and I completely understand your feelings, but like that's where we're at on this stuff, right? They want the growth, and I don't know that inclusiveness is popular, right? I don't think it's as popular as it was. You know, we've just seen a big change in the United States where people are, you know, don't want the other, and that's kind of sad. I mean, I'm an other. I got long hair. I look like a crazy person, but you know, I'm of the mind that people have the right to their opinion. We had an internal discussion about this at BGG about something, and I just said, look, I'm not going to take away anybody's right to speak their mind, and it is. I mean, I don't know. So I hope things are good, and I hope things even out here a little bit, because I don't think people are inherently terrible. But I will tell you this, money is important. Money is the thing that really makes everything keep going. And I mean, it was funny to me in the United States. We had a pandemic and they were encouraging us to spend. And it's like, everybody was frightened. They didn't know what to do. And so they sent us money to go spend. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's the right idea. You want to keep these businesses going. But it is crazy, right? I don't know. Nothing's in focus here. Let me move those minis out of the way. I probably should zoom in a little bit. I'm not going to do the other two games right now. I'm excited about working on these little guys. It's pretty awesome. I think this is a pretty neat method, and it doesn't. I don't feel that the detail looks worse, you know. I really want to put this together just so I can see what it looks like. I mean, I love this. This is like the least amount of damage I've ever seen on a mini, and it's a great idea. It may reduce the quality, I don't know, of other, you know. I'm shocked that it actually works, because the amount of plastic that needs to be injected on these things. So you see there's a little divot there. That was from me trying to break it off, which I don't love that. But that's much smaller than some of them. Wow, you've been in 37 years. About close to me. I might be younger than you. Thanks very much, West Coast Bannerman. I mean, I'm with you. Francois is really frustrated with it. I get it. I just don't know what to tell you. I mean, we can be upset about it, but look at this conversation we're having. I probably would love talking to you in real life, and I'm having fun talking to you here. It's just, I don't know what the answer is for you. I wish that, I mean, I don't know. That's why I wish maybe Specialist Hobbies, I don't know if that's even around anymore. It used to be Black Library is still there. What was it called? I think it was Specialist Games. You know, with Specialist Games, see, the problem is they're going to change the rules. So that's not going to solve, you might get the minis you want, but you're not going to get the rules you want. Even though they have done, I mean, I don't know, is Warhammer Old World or whatever it's called, is that essentially a Specialist version of the game? I don't know. I mean, there's an example of them bringing back something that people liked. Now, they saw dollars, and they also got rid of some factions in the big release that they did. And so, you know, a lot of those minis aren't playable if you're going to play that version of the game. And that is the frustrating part for me. I don't like the idea, and I get it, right? I understand the capitalist nature of what's going on there. They want to sell. Sometimes it's for the betterment of the game. Most of the time I'd say no, but I've drawn the line. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to worry about that anymore because I don't care. It's not worth it to me to get upset about it. And I have lots of hobbies anyway, right? Like I have a laser cutter next to me right here, and I have a 3D printers, and I love using them, and I'm not using them. So I would like to get in there and, you know, do some of that. And maybe that's where I stop doing this. I really enjoy painting minis. I don't let it bug me that they're not giving me what I want. And I don't even know what I want anymore. That's the problem. You know, that's the benefit for them and the problem for anybody else. I don't know what I want. I said I like smaller, I like war bands. I like the idea of that. I will probably end up doing a large army. I mean, I have in recent years purchased some of these annual box sets, and I like them. I mean, I don't love dealing with Marines, and I bought the Primaris Marines, right? I wanted the larger Marines, and I'm going to do it at some point. That was 2 years ago, maybe I bought that. But it's not worth getting upset about. It's not worth, you know, it's just a game ultimately. Thanks for the follow, Tiki Tice. How you doing? We are having a little bit of a lively conversation about Games Workshop and what they're doing. I mean, I agree. I love those. I love those demonettes and stuff like that. I don't know that those are gone. I mean, I don't pay attention enough. But like recently, there was an announcement they're going to actually have new Eldar models, which, you know, the Eldari. What the heck? Why did it take, you know, like, why were those out of commission for so long? That is just insane to me. Like, I don't understand the company. I did not have two heads. That was the reason why. Oh, I guess I decided I wanted to do this one. So I'm going to glue this head in, so that's one of the things. That was the problem with this mini. There's gaps. You don't see them now as much, but you can see the mess that I made trying to fill them. I basically used sprue goo. This side came out okay. I'll fix them. But yeah, I mean, I remember, you know, just recently they said there's always been female Space Marines, which is like, wow, okay. I didn't know that. You know, and obviously that's not real, essentially. But whatever. I don't know. I don't care. It's not, again, I'm not even playing 40K. I'm not playing 40K at all. I might play 40K adjacent stuff with Necromunda, which I haven't played. I haven't played Necromunda in 20 years. But I'm excited about those, and I would like to play that stuff. But, you know, those are crazy. Every one of those factions is, you know, something different and not what you would expect. You know, it's like cities, not marine. It's not armies. It's war gangs, essentially. That stuff's cool to me. I don't know. Maybe that's what I need. It's hard. It's hard, and I don't know what to tell you, because they're going to do what they need to do to continue to grow. That's the biggest thing here that I don't know. Maybe you think that they can make it work? I don't know. I don't know that you can grow without adding new players. And, you know, I know that Nikki always likes the different kinds of armies. Always. And she does not have any interest in, I mean, maybe she'd be interested in the Sisters of Battle. The cheap fine cast. Yeah, I mean, I understand, but I'm not buying that fine cast. I actually was not into it at all. And was one of the reasons why I was kind of frustrated with him in general. I just didn't care for what I was getting. And I had already kind of like, honestly, even though I say 2010, I don't think I was paying as much attention in the last few years there, because our group had really stopped getting together. And I'm not one of those to go game in the store. I'm always excited to see people doing it, but I am not one of those people that is into it. You know, I'm assembling this without looking at the directions. That's probably a bad idea. So I don't actually put something together too soon. Well, I hope you find what you want, and I hope that they give you what you want. I don't know. I mean, I've given up a long time ago hoping to get exactly what I would like to see. I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I like the smaller groups. So I also know that it's better if people can actually achieve their goals. And if you make it so massive, And, you know, changing the rules, changing the game. They've done this all the time before they even, try to get politically correct or whatever. They would change the game and they would make units, it was all about getting you to buy new stuff even then, but now it's really big. There we go. I am doing Brother Lucas. So I already put, there were 2 heads. I prefer the guys with the, what did I do? Did I not pop it off the sprue? Oh, there it is, popped off right now. Got enough guys with scarred faces. I'll do that. I'll do this one with the helmet. So you choose that, and you do the first piece of leg. That is not the piece. Wow, I don't feel that either of these are the pieces. And I pushed it off the sprue. It is number 2. Well, harumph, I say. Oh, this is it. This is obvious. Why didn't I see that? So there's a little bit of sprue that, but I mean, this is crazy how little it is. But I did want to try these because I think it's a cool idea. Francois is frustrated by it, but I like the idea of new people coming, and it doesn't necessarily mean whatever. I want everybody to play. I don't see enough people of color playing at any gaming conventions, and I'm always excited when I see people that are into it. So I want more people to play because I like playing with all kinds of people. It's always been that way for me. Cool. Well, let's see what this looks like. So this is push fit. We're going to just go for it. So here you go. No tools. Interesting. So it's not bad. That is a seam. I probably will float a little glue in there. None of this, I got to do all this. There's like a seam going all the way down from the top here to the knee pad down into the foot. And that will show up. I agree. I don't think they should be censored either. I've not said that. But they don't market to the people who are going to play anyway. Do you think that's the case? I don't know. I hope that's not true. I would like people to play. I know so many people that put together armies and did an amazing job. They actually spent their time a little better than we did because we were live streaming a lot, 2-3 times a week during the pandemic, and that was a lot for us. It's hard still. 1 game a week live stream is tough for the 2 of us because we're basically the ones running it. Plus, we just haven't had the opportunity to get people over. Deborah has been busy filming another movie, and she's getting ready to go back to film the next season of Daredevil. So we won't see her for probably a couple months, at least. I don't know, I don't know how many episodes. I don't even know how many episodes she's in this new season, which doesn't come out till March. But I know she's happy, and I had talked with some friends. They were very excited to see that she was coming back because they didn't hear the news that she was coming back, which I think is great. And people don't like her character, and I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like I like the human element of those kinds of things somewhat. Yeah, Daredevil starts in March. Rules, lore, and model design. Yeah, well, lore's not gone. It's gone in maybe in the new versions, but all that lore is still around. I don't have as much time to listen to that as I'd like, but I love listening to those lore things on YouTube. They're great. And you know, any of that stuff is mostly new to me because I've only ever read what came with I never read any of the Black Library stuff. I may have read one book, and I thought that was great. And you know, like one of the ones, Dan Abnett, I think he's awesome, and he was... So I read one of his books. I think that's probably the one I read. It might have been Inquisitor or something like that, or I can't remember. I hope that they do I mean, so that was one of the points of conversation on the Jugs podcast that I mentioned earlier. They were saying they don't think, the two guys did not think that Amazon was going to do the show, the Warhammer 40K stuff. And that would be a bummer. I would really like, I think since Henry Cavill's way into it, it would be awesome. To have something like that with a guy that's that popular, maybe more. I'm all in about growing the hobby. But also, I would just love to see movies. I would love it. As derivative as the content is, it's still not the same as, you know, Aliens and stuff like that. I would love to see it. Just something different. Every time I've seen any of those, you know, fan-made, essentially, videos, like a Star Takes or whatever was one of them, I think, gosh, that was just amazing. And that was just all computer generated. I really would like to see that. I really hope they don't go, it doesn't fall by the wayside. Because they were saying, I'm sorry, I actually started to say what the deal was. They were saying that a lot of the decisions about things like that, like the lore and stuff, are changing because of the proposed things that might happen with the Amazon doing stuff. I'm not really been a big fan of Amazon shows. Nikki's watching the Rings of Power, but Nikki watches The Boys as well, but I haven't watched that. I don't know. I don't know if I like that gap on the back. It'd be cool if they did a better way of doing that. And it doesn't get much closer than that. You put a little glue in there. Yeah, I have not seen that Lord of the Rings. But I'm also not the craziest Lord of the Rings fan. I loved the books when I was younger, but I'm not one of the people that will watch the movies over and over. It's good. I'm not interested. It's weird. The hobby's weird. A lot of things. It was interesting to see when Geek and Sundry got bought that they didn't get what they were hoping for. And that's a bummer. You know, Deborah was part of that. She had her show on there, Relics and Rarities. And they never moved any forward with it at all. Like, in spite of efforts to make it happen. And that's a bummer, right? You know, I mean, I'm not, you know, they lost Critical Role off that, and that was, I'm sure it was after they got bought, which, wow, Legendary really dropped the ball on that. But, you know, that was essentially, I think, put together prior to them anyway. So the Critical Role folks owned all that. And look at how great that's doing. You know what I mean? It's like, it sure would be awesome if, I don't know. I actually liked a lot of what Critical Role did. I didn't get to watch, I mean, not Critical Role, excuse me, Geek and Sundry. So it's interesting, there's like an edge here where these pieces match up. So some of it's being hidden. Now I've been able to see, this is like, it's frustrating that, I mean, obviously if I just cut it off and put the head in however I wanted, I could actually fill that. But it's not great. I've never loved that in there, but it's not that visible. Let me put a little bit of glue on that one edge.
Francois, I didn't presume to know. I guess maybe you're talking to Angzar. Her is the only sane character. Well, Deborah warned me not to pay attention to it all. She's like, they don't like her character. Yeah, tabletop was cool.
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen with Trump. I hope that I don't see it all as necessarily gloom and doom. We did fine on the last time he was in. I just don't want. I want people to be able to do what they want, right? I don't know that. I don't know. What did I do with that file? There they are. I know plenty of people that did vote for him, and it's fine. My problem is I don't like politics in general. I mean, and I voted since I was 18. But I feel like it's, if we're going to get down the corporation road again, it's corporate. It's all corporate, and that's frustrating to me. And it's what's happening right now, in my opinion, is just that there's a lot of focus on keeping things profitable, which maybe that's for the better of things. This is like part of what I was talking about earlier. I don't know. Certainly, it's good to have stock market do well, and as long as everybody can benefit from that.
Ah, you hang out on painting streams. Okay, cool.
Views on women, huh? I'm gonna let this dry completely. I actually love the fact that there's a discussion going on. You know, you guys are regularly speak to each other, and that's all for the better, I think. I have friends that are, you know, it does not bother me. I mean, you have to, I don't want anybody, I want people to voice their opinions. I think that, wow, this does not look right. There we go. I did not clean that. Now this is the one good thing I really feel about like putting this kind of effort into these, is that you you see the problems with the miniature, right? It's when I do the stuff from Warhammer United, which I love. Believe me, I think they're fun. I love the size. Everything about them is pretty awesome. I don't see all the problems. Look at this. Look at all this stuff that's happening on her hat. I thought I cleaned it all. Like I did one side maybe. I think I need to clean it and touch it up before I paint it too. Which, you know, it's not that hard to do. You know, my family, I obviously with a name like Lincoln, I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. I have lots and lots of family members from the central, middle of the United States. And it's, you know, I better be flexible with listening to people, because if I didn't, I would never speak to any of those folks, which isn't true. I mean, they're all great. It's just everybody has the things that are important to them. And, you know, I have lots of friends, lots of different friends over the years. And they represent a tremendous spectrum of folks. So ultimately, I'm going to, like, I don't want any of them to struggle, or I don't feel that they're any less of a citizen or a member of society. And this is why painting hundreds of minis is crazy to me, right? I will spend this time. I'm one of those people that I want them to look, I am bothered by the mold lines. Not necessarily everybody is. Hey, check it out, his foot is on the base, right? That is why he has no foot.
Once again, I'll pop this off.
Yeah, dialogue and free speech, 100%. Let's see how this is supposed to go. I guess he's walking. Okay. Cool. I really love these bases. Look at the shells, the bolter shells and stuff. It's all cool, man. I really like them. I know I would not do that nice of a job basing these things. So, and I also, you know, one of the things I say on these streams all the time is, like, just go with what the basic paint schemes are, because it gets you into it sooner and less stressing about it. Like, you know, I don't know how long I took, but this was my first, not the first Marine Eldar I painted, but this is the first army. It was green and purple. I had some reason that I wanted to do that in gold, and I love doing it, you know. But I don't have any, it wasn't any craft world. I didn't worry about that stuff. I just made them the way I wanted them to look. And I did a bunch of Eldar, but I still haven't done many units that I would love to do. I mean, I was not really satisfied with the minis back in back in the day. The metal minis were not particularly the best. I mean, this is one here that my friend Alf, he sold me like a bunch of his Eldar, because he went into doing Dark Angels. You know, and these are crazy. Like, it's basically very flat wings with a little bit of bend, and this figure that everything's in the same plane, right? And while it's a cool mini, I love the more dynamic stuff. I don't know if Jez Goodwin did all those. I know he did a lot of the Eldar back then. He might have done that. But he's a great sculptor. With normies and people who disagree. So now you see here right on the back of this leg, right? This doesn't have that line, and this does because they decided to do that mold line there. And that's a little frustrating to me because what do I do? How do I get that to be more lined up? So basically what I will do is, again, it's on the back of the leg, whatever, but I will clean it up. I will try to clean it up. And I would love to see, like, to me, why weren't both of these done with the front edge being the mold line? But, you know, it's the way they inject them. But yeah, this is, I mean, this is pretty great too. These are really cool minis and bases, but this is still a challenge for, again, I mean, let me look at that one. How did I do on the mold lines on that one? I mean, I was particular. It's pretty good. Not the greatest smooth paint job, and I got some silver on there from something. Not in focus. It was not thinning my paints enough. I felt the metallics were phenomenal. Look, these were shooting discs, so I put a little slot. But yeah, I got gold on there. I don't know what I did. I mean, silver. And it looks like that's supposed to be a gem on there. So I didn't paint these either, so. I did the one on his chest. I got the darned manual in front, so I can't really tell if I'm in focus. I really want to paint. I have not painted for the last few weeks, so I will be back on, what time is it? We've talked so darn long. 7:30, it's about time. I usually quit around 7:30, but maybe 8. I call my mom at 8. See how she's doing every night. She lives locally, which is good. We see her almost every weekend. This weekend's going to be a challenge, though. We have filming on Sunday, and I'm not sure. I mean, we might get lucky because Deborah isn't going to make it till, well, this is provided everybody can make it. I really hope so. We were doing the advent calendar stuff, and last year we did them all with Deborah and Dave, and they really wanted to do them again, and it, you know, just life got in the way, and it didn't happen. So Nikki and I, so tonight when I'm done with this stream, I'll have dinner, and then I got to edit tomorrow's advent calendar video, which I like doing, but boy, it's hard to do them daily. I don't. One of my issues is I want to actually enjoy the holiday, and when I'm doing these every day till the 24th, I can't. So hopefully, I know we won't film all the remainders on Sunday because I want to do other things besides the exit advent calendar. But we love them. I mean, it's really fun, and that's why Dave and Deborah wanted to do it, but we just haven't. I actually bought the advent calendar last year, so when we were done, the day we finished, I brought out and joked like, let's get started on the next one, and I should have. I really should have done it. But Dave and Deborah have not been together. We have not done a filming with the both of them since that day in November last year. But that was exciting, actually, now I think about it. We were done with I was able to get Derek to edit because I had all of them done. This time we actually broke everything up into individual episodes so that managing the media is better. It's hard. Everybody's like, oh, they're only 5-10 minutes. Well, they're not always. Even I think the shortest one so far has been nearly 10 minutes. Oh no, there was one yesterday's was 8.5 or something like that. I love the bolters. I love the designs.
There's a whole conversation going on here. Thanks, Circe.
These guys talk regularly, so that's cool. I haven't drilled out a bolt gun in ages. Do I have a pin vise around here right now? I love that I painted a slot for those, what were those called? Gosh darn it, I don't remember. Gosh, I don't remember. It's been so long since I paid attention to Eldar stuff, or Eldari. These were called...
Oh, don't know. If anybody knows, let me know.
One thing that I do think is a little weird is like how the tech, I like kind of that the tech is different between the factions / races. And I was kind of disappointed with some of the similarity of the Hearthkin warriors here, that they have sort of, hey, look, I didn't drill guns. I didn't do it. Hearthkin warriors, I don't know. One of the other cool things I think about with any of these things is when these minis can be used in the other games. So if people grow, get in on these lower level games and are interested and want to build an army, you can't always do that with Necromunda, but you could with most of these other games. And that's awesome, right? It's like, it's the invitation to get deeper. And I think that works. I don't know. I mean, I started full bore. The job that they had at the time, I would go into, I was driving all over the place. And so I'd go into an area and then I'd always know where the, we didn't have really data phones. And I would do the research beforehand, like what stores they have in the area. I'd go over there for lunch. I always buy something from a hobby store when I go game store, because I want them to continue to exist. We have so few of them here in Southern California. I'm very sad. I was mentioning earlier, there was one called Gameology in Pasadena. The last time we went there was with Eric Lang and Matt Paquette, our friends of ours. And I've been wanting to go back. Like they carry a lot of the paints, and they are no longer. So after we visited them, I think in May or something like that. Although I don't know, I feel like he was, maybe it was another time, but I think he was out here for one of the, so Matt works with Critical Role. He does, he's the graphics, he does their games. He did the, gosh, I don't remember the Queen one that came out. And I feel like that was on its way out. So it must have been the end of 2022. Gosh. Anyway, he was out here for their holiday thing. They had an event. And we went, gosh, it couldn't have been holiday. It has to be, though. I feel like it was a holiday, but I could be wrong. And so I can probably look at my messages with Matt. But he, wow, that is what this is supposed to do? Swing back like that? Okay, like that. Anyway, we went in there. It was great store, tons of paints. Like, really, it was funny though. So it was speed paint time frame. I remember like looking and didn't see any speed paints. I was disappointed, and I was like, oh, it's right here in the middle of the rack. That was the the stuff from Army Painter. And I believe that was the first wave. And the new wave came out
Earlier this year.
so it was last year sometime. Maybe I'm wrong about the holidays. But Matt Paquette was very excited. He really likes those folks. What is that? Oh, is this the other arm? Wow, is it a robot arm? Wow, didn't even notice that. Love it. What is going on there? I don't know how that's supposed to go together. I end up gluing these, even though it says no glue necessary, all the time because... Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, cool. I'll clean it up a little bit more than it has been. Let me do the... I'll do the pack last. It's funny, whenever I watch plenty of videos of people painting this stuff, and whenever I get one in my hands, like, oh, they're so tiny.
Wavy potato chips appear to be stronger than ruffled ones. Wow. What are the wavy ones? My lack of a pin vise. I have a pin vise. I have plenty of them. Matter of fact, here it is, right here. This is one of them. I will probably do that. I have some that are a little bit less painful. Oh, there's a strike?
Wonder what's going on with Vallejo. That's a bummer. I want to get. I'm probably going to go tomorrow to that Hivestorm Burbank, because I need to get some sort of putty. I mean, I could order it on Amazon, but it'll probably take days to get here. Because most of the time they don't sell that stuff on Amazon. Sometimes it's one of the retailers. I did not hear about Vallejo. That's weird. I don't know what's going on. So I think I always thought that. I mean, I don't really know for sure, but a lot of the earlier. Let me see where these are made. I have a few of these. I mean, it's Denmark, but I thought they made them. Some of them were made in Spain. It is made in at least Spain or Estonia. I don't know. So I thought they were made by Vallejo, but I noticed on these made in Norway. So I guess. So it's interesting, like, why aren't they not made in Denmark? So I always felt like, oh, they're probably the same. Now, again, I didn't have a lot of Army Painter. I must have had some paints, but I was never, it was either a Vallejo or a GW or Citadel, or, I mean, I have some P3, older P3 paints, which are okay. Anyway, so yeah, we film on Sunday, and then Saturday we have a friend that we haven't seen. Nikki used to go to lunch with her or dinner, but they moved to Seattle. Her whole family moved up there, so we haven't seen them in ages. So we're going to just be able to do lunch with them and maybe hang out a little bit. They're coming over here. They wanted to go to Disneyland. I actually would like to go to Disneyland, but I definitely don't want to go during December. I've done that too many times and been unhappy. So, although we did go in December in 2019, that's the last time we went, and we actually had a good time. Our friend Jennifer, who is a big Disney, loves going to the parks. She's been to, like, I think all of them around the globe. She went with us, and really kind of gave us the right trip, you know, where she
Paid for the app stuff. Hey, thanks for the follow. A tall gnome.
A tall gnome. But yeah, she paid for like some advanced entry stuff or something. I can't remember what the deal was. I mean, it's all much more like that now anyway. But we were going to go with James Hudson, who is, he lived out here till June. And, which is a bummer. I really like James. He was a nice guy. And we had him on the show a couple times. And now he'll have to, he says he's going to come out once a year to do some video stuff, so maybe he'll, you know, that and plus probably some business stuff, but so hopefully we'll get to have him come over again. He's fun, and he knows, obviously his games are pretty great. We played Tidal Blades 2 with him. It's one of the last things we filmed, I think, and held on to it till it was coming out. I want to get that. He was going to send us one, but he does not need to. It's not critical. We really don't need more games, but I really liked it. Scott got it and played it, and he was really impressed. Enjoyed it. Lots of little lines. Now, these are less egregious than some of the other ones on, like the CMON stuff. Marvel United. What do I not enjoy in Disney in December? It's just crowded. I mean, Nikki's never been to Disney World, and we do want to go, and of course, you know, but it's very crowded, at least on the times we've gone. We had friends that would come down and visit. They grew up here, but they would come down and visit and go. I'm putting the backpack on, and I didn't mean to. Wanted to go every year, and it was great because we would go, okay, cool. We basically go once a year, but it was always very crowded, and I don't know if it's what it's like now. I mean, again, because we have not been in a long time, but I did not get to. We did the Galaxy's Edge, but we didn't get to check out Rise of the Resistance yet, because it was I'm sure it was running. They were probably doing behind the scenes things, and then they had a soft opening of that in January. But then, of course, the pandemic happened. We should have gone then. You know, we didn't have as much to do, and we could have easily gone down there because it wasn't that crazy when they opened it back up. And it was even going for a while before. We just didn't know what the heck was going on. And so yeah, it's just not fun when it's crowded. Now, one of the things we used to do, because when our friends would come down, we'd go, it would mostly be between Christmas and New Year's, and that would be invariably, somehow, I don't remember exactly when, but more than once, it was when the Rose Bowl teams were at Disneyland as well. So it was just crazy. And again, I don't know if it's exactly like that anymore. Oh, he's throwing a grenade. That is awesome. I don't know if you can see that. So that's probably smoke.
Amusement areas in December are a gridlocked nightmare. Yeah, it's true. Profit sharing. Ah. Interesting. I have to look into that. I mean, you know, I will go and get a bottle of white tomorrow. Hopefully. I think that, but I do have stuff I have to get done. Wow, I really like that. That is really a neat looking figure. This is cool.
Not usually, I don't usually assemble. I did last week and I did, I'm doing that today. And I didn't really, I should be doing some of the Kill Team stuff, but I'm very excited about these push to, push to break off the sprue. I think it's a really cool thing. And it's a plus, man, in my opinion, as far as, at least at this point, it's a plus because it has very little that you have to scrape away. And if you're not concerned about that, probably it's not a problem at all, you know. So I was trying to clean that mold line between these two surfaces where it did split. I don't know if I'll get that completely removed. We did finally watch the Deadpool. We actually wanted to go see it because it came out, I guess, at Gen Con? Yes, because Christoph, from our friend that's on the SDJ jury, was visiting after Gen Con, and he wanted to go to the Chinese again. I wanted to go see Deadpool there, Deadpool and Wolverine, but we did not go because it wasn't on that screen. It was actually Alien Romulus, which Nikki and Christoph went to go see. I didn't go. I think I had to work to do. So we didn't catch it. You know, we usually will go see something like that. We like going to see those movies at the Chinese, which Chinese is an old theater. They got restored a few years back. 10 years ago, actually, now that I think about it. I actually didn't go until Rusty was involved in a charity thing where they would wait in line. There's an actual movie, a documentary called Star Wait, and Rusty's in it. And that was for the first, well, probably not the first movie, maybe like the second one. I'm talking about the prequels. And so he wasn't going to wait in line. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do it this time. And then he ended up doing it some. So he got tickets, was able to get tickets in advance, and he had two tickets, and he was like, I got a free ticket, a spare ticket. Do you want to go? And I'm like, I'll go. You know, I wasn't going to go because I wanted to go see it with Nikki. And he had several sets because he had his family was there. I got to see his parents and stuff. And it was great. The theater is just amazing. It's always been one of my favorite ones. The other ones are gone, basically. The Village is in Westwood. I went to school at UCLA. The Village is now owned by like filmmakers, so I'm very excited about that. That's a great theater too. Not as cool because what happened was they did the work on, wow, I kind of want to paint this guy. I mean, I do want to paint this guy. They actually made it an IMAX theater, and they were able to change, you have to change the rake of the seats because it was flat. You know, it was done in I mean, I think it's 100 years old now, or close to 100 years old, that theater. And so it was flatter. You know, they didn't have like enough. I think I saw, might not have been that movie there. I saw, when I was young, Star Wars at a theater, and a guy in front of us had like a huge afro, and I didn't see. I think we're able to see, but you know, it was like super. I feel like that was a theater, but they all were like that. You know, that was the way theaters were done, and I love that they got that theater together and kept it really nice. So they were able to. They actually had underneath the seating, there was like an unused rooms down there. So they were able to excavate all that out and then change the rake of the theater by, you know, starting lower and going higher, which I don't even know how they did that, because maybe it was just a lot of difference, and then they scraped it out to give it that rake to the entry point, because I can't imagine they couldn't have changed the entry at the back of the theater. So it might have been pretty deep down there. I have no idea, but it doesn't look like it was changed. Obviously, it has been changed. And it's just a great theater to go to. I really love it. I remember seeing, gosh, I don't know, tons of things there. Tons of things. So I was real happy when they brought it back, and it's really cool. It's funny. Isn't TCL, so TCL, it says the TCL Chinese theaters. TCL just got bought, is that right? No, it was, the other one got bought by Walmart, TV manufacturer. Anyway, it is almost 8. We are definitely, I mean, it's going to be great this weekend, but this weekend will be busy. I'm very excited to see Deborah and Dave. I have not seen Dave since, I don't think I've seen either of them since September, so it's like 2.5 months. Everybody actually came, I think, just before we went to, so we had our friend Russ. Russ has been on a couple episodes, came to town, he lives in the UK, and so we were able to group. I don't think Dave was involved in those, but Dave did come to film something, but it was Deborah, Russ, and Nikki and I, and then Gavin, a new guy who's great, that's a friend with Russ. He lives in the area here, and so he wants to, and we want him to come back. We just haven't had the opportunity. Everybody's been sick. Nikki has been sick for a while now, and so she is not feeling she's still not feeling great. Wow, this is interesting. I have a sprue like this. Is it got the little buttons on it? That would be funny if I completely missed it. It does! What the heck did I do? So I had one of these minis and I completely trimmed them off and completely missed. I've had this already for a while. I wonder what the heck mini that was. That is so funny. I completely missed it. I didn't even notice that they were so finely connected. How the heck did I do that? Unless somehow I got this from somebody else, but I don't feel like it. I don't have any friends locally that do this stuff anymore. That's funny. I just, as soon as I started thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I have a sprue like that. Wow, I wonder which one that was. Anyway, thanks for the follow, Kanga E00. How you doing? We're just kind of wrapping it up here. But we will be filming this weekend, visiting our friend. We have a live stream coming up. I think it's going to be on the 21st. We're going to try to have folks over. We haven't done a live stream with a bunch of people coming in. We used to do those for 24 hours. We will not be doing it for 24 hours. We'll probably do a long stream on the 21st is the plan. So we're just going to invite people, and hopefully if people come, I'm hoping we get to see Aaron. Aaron has been very busy with, he's on the county registrar stuff, so he was busy with the election, and I'm sure that has eased up since we're not counting votes. And hopefully we will get to see him. We haven't seen him since May or June. We filmed the Arkham Horror card game, Edge of the Earth, which was really fun. It was great to see him. And then, I mean, we're hoping, Candace hasn't been on the show since last year. She wasn't feeling great when we were doing the SDJ stuff this year. And she hadn't played the games. She hadn't played many of the games. And that was kind of like Dave, too. I think there were a few people that didn't get to play many of the nominated titles. And we had them. We did do the children's stuff, and that was actually fun. We had Tashi over for those, Brian and Tashi, and we also had Tashi on regular games, which is awesome. But anyway, so we haven't seen all these people. I'll probably invite Brian as well. Hopefully they can come. But yeah, just have coming in and playing games. We used to do that yearly in November for Extra Life. And I think we raised pretty good money on that. Nothing spectacular, but you know, anything helps. And so this one will be, we're doing for the BGG's annual support drive. That's going on right now at boardgamegeek.com/support. If you like what we're doing with Game Night and what BGG does, please consider supporting us during this time. It is really helpful, and it is important because, holy cow, we use virtual servers now. It's actually been for a while, I think 5 or 6 years, and it's expensive. And as the site grows, it only gets more expensive. So if you can help, it's a tough time, it's holidays, it's always, everybody's busy spending. But if you can help, that'd be great. It's again at boardgamegeek.com/support. And we will have that stream. If we do that stream, I'm gonna, now that we've got a date, Scott's like, just pick a date and we'll try to get people to come. We will advertise it on the site. So we'll put some ads together for it and hopefully get some people, and it's to raise awareness about the fundraiser, not fundraiser, support drive. So hopefully we'll see you again. I will be painting again on Tuesday, and then I think Game Night will be the following week from today. We'll do a Game Night with Nikki. Hopefully she'll be fully back in shape. And then I think it'll be good. I'm really looking forward to the holidays. I'm going to try to work with Derek to get all these advent calendar things edited, so I'm not working every day till Christmas, which is really rough. I hope you guys had a good time, and it was a lively discussion. I hope you guys are doing great. So Deborah, our friend Kevin Kelly used to work for Geek and Sundry, and in March of 2019, they were doing, hey, let's call my mom. They were doing at WonderCon, and he was helping Deborah and her husband get around to just some of the events, right? She was doing relics and rarities at the time, and she recognized Kevin from watching the show. She had watched an episode 2 weeks prior. I know this because, within 2 weeks, she'd watched Victorian Masterminds, because that was the episode that she first saw, and it came out 2 weeks before they met. And then she watched a bunch of them, and she saw us do Chronicles of Crime. And Kevin was on that one, and he's really funny. And she recognized him. It took her a while to figure it out. And she's like, "Are you on Game Night?" And he freaked out. He thought somebody was punking him. And he told her that she should come on. And she's like, "They would want me?" And he's like, "Yes." So she, this was in March. He called me that day. He's like, "Oh my gosh." And so then a month went by, and she was watching the episode. She was going back in time and watching everything. And her husband's like, "Just call them." And so she called and contacted Kevin, said, "Were you serious?" And he's like, "Absolutely, I'll introduce you to them." So she came over. It was a kind of a little, she was worried that it was, might be a problem with her contract with Geek and Sundry and things like that. And I said, "Look, if anything, tell them it's essentially an amateur operation. We don't really make any money on anything, and we are just doing it for the fun of it for the most part." And she's like, "Okay." And then, she started heading. I said, "Look, if you really want to come, just come on over. We don't have to film. We can just play games. It'll be fun." And she's like, "Thanks." And so she came, and then she messaged me in between that she'd heard from her agent and everything was fine. And so we filmed. We filmed a couple things with her, which was awesome. And I really wanted her to, I had picked some lighter games because, we don't know what her level of gameplay is. And I wanted to try to do a little bit heavier games with her. And she was excited to do that. And she has been coming all the time since then. It's been phenomenal. Deborah's really awesome, super sweet person. And we love having her around. She's a great friend. And it's been more than 5 years now. And she's funny. She doesn't think she's been on very many episodes. And I'm like, "I think you've been on at least 50. This was a while ago. This might have been during. So there's an episode, if you watch Green Team Wins, that's our 500th episode. And we had 6 of us, I believe, on. and Deborah was one of them. And we all talked about how we got into, how we met, how we got into the hobby, how Deborah came to meet us and everything. And you hear it all from the people telling it. So it was really great. It's a fun episode. It's actually great. It was a great game. And then to have everybody talk about it, because we met Dave a little over 20 years ago. And that was an amazing thing too. I mean, Dave changed my life. So it's awesome. So check that out. It's Green Team Wins, episode number 500. You guys take care. Hopefully have a great weekend. Try to enjoy your holiday. I mean, hopefully we'll see you again. And again, if you would consider supporting us, please do. BoardGameGeek.com/support. We really can use it, especially this year. I hope to see you guys again. I'll be back on Tuesday morning at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, and then we will be back again at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday. Everybody take care and enjoy yourselves, and I hope everybody has a good time together. Bye, everybody. YouTube people. Oh, wait, we're going to raid. I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Let me raid. Get all carried away. Let's see what we got here. I'm terrible. It's so tiny. That's YouTube. Let's go to Twitch. I'm not sure. I'll tell you, lately I've not seen anybody. Stream Manager, is it not? Creator Dashboard, that's probably there. I don't see people on now. Stream Manager, let's go there. Yay, let's see if anybody's on there. So YouTube won't be able to go, but once we find somebody here, if you want to join in, just click on through when it pops up. I am seeing a ton of video game people and things. And where are the people that we follow? It's Thursday. Bonzinator should be on. She's on the same time as us. Actually, I wish that I had put her on. Bonzinator, no channels found. Come on. I don't really like that. Yeah, nothing. Let me try it again. I am typing it. Yeah, no channels found. I don't understand Twitch. I'm sorry, everybody. We're going to just wrap it up. This is frustrating. I don't understand it. Anyway, let me get to the... Why am I not seeing the... There we go. So everybody take care. Sorry it's so convoluted here. And thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a good one. Okay, bye everybody. Take care. Is it going?